Super Bowl 58 is upon us, guys. Welcome back. I'm Mark with The Better Mark, and I'm going to get into my official plays. I'm bringing it to you guys early. I want you guys to have enough time to get out of the sports books, do your research, do your own research within the Super Bowl, because, guys, it is coming. We're back. Super Bowl 58 coming live tomorrow. I'm going to give you guys my official plays, and I'm going to absolutely give you guys a surprise here. I'm going to put on one of these helmets behind me, and we are going to fire up my official play. I'm going to lock it in. It's also not going to be too crazy because I have a lot of futures coming home after tomorrow's contest. So financially, with my open tickets that I have going with this game, it's going to be a unique one, and I really don't have to care who wins. And that's something that I have. It's been weird looking at these bets and these plays because I want to get involved. I really do, but I just truly want to make some money. So I might just have fun and take a little bit more on the long shot approach and just have some fun watching the game. But there are a few plays that I really like, so I want to take the time to make this complete, comprehensive guide to what I'm going to be playing for the Super Bowl. Tell you guys that, as well as breaking down all the popular prop markets, so on and so forth. And eventually, guys, like I said, we're going to pick the side. And I'll give you guys my actually locked in play, right, for this contest. So let's get down into it. And before we do, welcome. Like I said, make sure you guys are all subscribed down below. Smash that like button as well. And feel free to drop your favorite play for tomorrow's game, as well as who you guys are going to be taking in Super Bowl 58. So let's get down into it, guys. And these odds are all courtesy of FanDuel, guys. But this is what we're seeing. 1.5 in the market, 47.5. We're not going to get to the 47.5. I don't think we're going to get to the 48 from that 47.5. I'm going to be leaning towards the under. I think this is going to be a heavily run football game. Okay. We all see what the Chiefs do in the second half. That's going to tie into one of my plays, lowest scoring half. We're going to be going under in that second half scoring, as well as taking the second half being the lowest. Just what we saw with the Bills, saw with the Ravens. It's a little bit of value, too, if the Chiefs do get that halftime lead, do get a commanding lead in the second half. If you're leaning that way, look at that second half being the lowest, because both teams, guys, they can bleed the clock, okay, and that's what it comes down to. But the 1.5 in the twos that you're seeing out there, it's not going to hit 3. 70% of the bets is what I'm hearing. It has not been placed yet. That's going to all happen on Sunday. So if you guys are looking at a side, this is something that's been passed down for me for betting the Super Bowl. It's something that even when we have a crazy odds-on favorite, don't take the points. Take the winner. If you're going to make it your biggest bet of the year, which is something I don't advise, it is the Super Bowl, but it is still just one football game. Keep that in mind, okay? If you want to be a disciplined sports gambler, it's one football game out of a lot, and we have a ton of action coming up as soon as the Super Bowl's over, okay? We're going to be right back into it. But this is where we're looking at this 1.5, these twos, right? We're not going to get to 3. So if you do want to take a field goal, you want some insurance, buy the insurance. Don't get in a habit of doing that because that's not a good strategy over the long term if you're betting units to make money in the long haul. But if you want 3 points, go buy that half point. Go find it. Shop around. Get your best number. But when it comes to my betting strategy for betting the Super Bowl, if you just want to take the side, always just take the team that you think is going to win. Forget the juice. If you like the Chiefs, don't take the 1.5. Just take them on the money line. It's worked more times than not for me. Even when we have a minus 300, just lay it, okay? That's kind of how I feel. It's a little bit of different rationale in these do or die, win or go home type games, okay? Well, let's get into some touchdown scores. First, obviously, Christian McCaffrey. I want to preface this by saying this is first half NFL money, okay? This is the lowest I think we've found on Christian McCaffrey in quite some time. Minus 220, shop around, anytime TD score. Boom. If you think that the San Francisco 49ers are going to win, or even if you don't, really you should parlay the Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown with whoever you pick, whatever you pick, because it's going to happen. It's a extreme value if you've bet Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdowns throughout the NFL season. That's some extreme value, okay? Now, we're going to get into some other things within the MVP markets, and this is something very much we're going to get in line with some pizza money. We're going to start throwing out some zingers, so guys, strap in. This is one where I'm going to try to blow your mind with a couple of these out there, okay? But obviously, Patrick Mahomes, a lot of people, instead of taking the Chiefs money line, they're going to be taking that plus 145 versus that plus 108, plus 110, whatever you can find out there, all right? But then you look at some of the other numbers, guys. Christian McCaffrey's fallen from 6 to 1, okay? That's a very, with the disdain and the hate that Brock Purdy gets, if the 49ers become victorious and it's by means of running the football, Guys, that 6-1 with McCaffrey was a very juicy number to start off once these lines all opened up, okay? Travis Kelce, 14-1 MVP. That's been like the most heavily bet MVP bet, I think, out there. That's obviously going to grow in size when we hit Sunday. Okay, but let's get down into some fun ones, guys. Chris Jones, this number has fallen as well. Chris Jones, probably my pick for a defensive MVP if a defensive player was going to get it. In the last 23 Super Bowls, 4 defensive players have won this award. Chris Jones plus 11,000, guys. I'm really going to throw some pizza money on that one. So if you guys are going to ride with me on that one, obviously let me know down below in the comments, because just hit 100-1, so I'm feeling a little frisky within some of these long shots, okay? Especially with guaranteed money tomorrow, guys, coming in ways of futures. I kind of have some fun. I think that's inevitable. But here's another one, guys. This has actually gotten even stronger. We all saw Brock Purdy go down against the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game last year. Okay, we've seen this happen time and time again, where in a Super Bowl, the backup quarterback ends up taking the award home. Okay, here we go. Look at Sam Darnold plus 31,000. Okay, how much is a beer? How much is a can of pop? Right, whatever that cost is to you. If that's $5, $3, $10, so be it. Just do it. Just put the $10 on Sam Darnold, because if it happens, if the 49ers win, and Brock Purdy goes down in the first quarter, and Sam Darnold just comes out slinging it, you just never know. But for plus 31,000, I got to put some money on it, okay? That's just where I'm at with that one. And as always, guys, obviously the kickers, Butker and Moody, plus 37,000. That's one you got to look up historically. I don't have the numbers on that one, but that's a fun bet as well for some pizza money. So don't be shy. This is the Super Bowl, guys. This is the celebration of it all. We can get into some very, very crazy specials out there, but I'm going to try to get this video moving because there's a lot to cover, guys. So please stick around to the end, and let's get more into it. All right. This is something very interesting. I don't really get into squares. My numbers this year suck on my block pool, just being full transparency. A lot of 8s, a lot of 2s, a lot of 5s. So I don't think we're going to cash anything with that, but you never know, okay? So rushing yards, let's get into that conversation, right? Obviously, when we look at this, you need to keep something in perspective. The number within Pacheco, 64.5, getting as high as 69.5 in some places. That is a very popular play, okay? I'm going to be fading that pick altogether. I think it's going to happen, but it's just too popular and the number has risen. So unless you were able to get it last week, that's what I'm going to cross off. Instead, I'm going to look at Pacheco 3-1, 30 yards in either half, okay? So he has to get 30 yards in the first half, 30 yards in the second half, and I also like that for Christian McCaffrey in his own right, okay? I think that's something, instead of taking these high full game totals, take a more modest 30 yards in each half. You know, you might get home within, if he has some 62 yards overall for the full game, okay? Next, we're going to get into the numbers within some receiving people. Obviously, guys, Travis Kelce, most receiving yards of the game. But this is something where we need to talk Travis Kelce over 72.5. I think it's up from 68, 69. Travis Kelce, 70 yards. I think it's been 11 out of his last 12. Some crazy statistics with playoff Kelce, okay? Obviously, Deebo's back. I really like him with running the football in this game. They're going to get creative. These are two great offensive minds having an extra week to prepare a game plan. And personally, I think a lot of these teams were doing that throughout the course of the regular season. So I'm going to be looking at Deebo rushing, okay? George Kittle, this is one where you guys have to take it. If you remember the initial matchup, Kansas City, favorable matchup for tight ends. You've seen this with the last one that the 49ers played, the Chiefs. Mahomes came out victorious, albeit San Francisco could have won in their own right as well. They had it pretty much under wraps, but I believe Kittle had a 12 or 13 yard holding call, bring back a reception that would have comfortably put him over his over. But I do like Kittle to get 50. Ayuk, part of me wants to fade that one. Rashee Rice, everybody loves him. It's not a popular play, but it is among some of the sharps out there. Over 4.5 receptions too for this. But Pacheco, this is one where these next two guys, Pacheco and MVS, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Pacheco, there's one that I really love. It's more in the receiving end than his rushing, is first reception for Pacheco under 5.5 yards. You're going to have to search for that one. But guys, he catches one out of the backfield. San Francisco, very fast on the outside. Just give him a 1 yard, 2 yard, 3 yard, or even a potential for a loss on that first play, right? That's where I like it. He could get a knee down. It could be a bad pass, what have you. It could be a swing pass, steps out of bounds. There's a lot of variables. He could bust a screen for 50. But I'm going to see value with this. I'm taking the under 5.5. First reception for Isaiah Pacheco, okay? And then if you get into the same metric, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, MVS, over 13.5. He's eclipsed this a lot. He's going to catch a big one in that intermediate yardage, right? Over 13.5, longest reception for MVS, okay? Those are ones I like, okay? Obviously, I think Kelsey's going to get peppered with looks. And the way these defenses play, you need to keep in mind there's something very important to understand. Kansas City, probably one of the top blitzing teams in the NFL, and San Francisco, surprisingly enough, is probably the team that doesn't blitz, okay? And that's just kind of where we're at with a defensive coordinator mindset, and obviously I'm going to tip my cap to Steve Spagnuolo, definitely getting the edge in that defense coordinator debate when we go with that head-to-head matchup, okay? Offensive play callers, Andy Reid, track record off a bye, give him a week to prepare, speaks for itself, but, Shanahan's a genius in his own right. But let's talk about this even further. We're going to get into some more rushing. Quarterback rushing, I like taking the Brock Purdy over, a very much underrated runner with his feet. And then we're going to talk about Mahomes and kind of segue back to that game where the 49ers played the Chiefs the first go-round in that first Super Bowl. Mahomes wrapping up the game. I think they were going to kneel the ball, and everybody was just kind of run the play clock out, but there was a discrepancy with the play clock and game clock, and I think Mahomes had a scramble, and as a former quarterback, we practiced his play, ran about 30 yards backwards, and blew a very comfortable over with that rushing. So keep that in mind in these do-or-die games. Weird stuff may happen, okay? Kneels do count in the NFL as a loss and as a rush. Also keep that in mind. So we're going to get into that. I do think Purdy's going to go over his rush. I truly like that. Not really any lean with the Mahomes rushing, okay? And this is something where we get into more so talks about Purdy. When it comes to passing yards, Mahomes, I'm taking the under. I don't think he's going to get even 260, just my personal opinion. Purdy, I think he has a potential to go over, especially if you do favor the Chiefs with them making a comeback. They really struggle when they're playing from behind. That's just the 49ers and who they are. But I do love, and this is probably one of my big hammer plays of the contest, is Brock Purdy under 31.5 at passing attempts. Go find that. Go look for it. That is a huge play to go along with the Pacheco first reception under 5.5. Those are two props I really, really like. Go look at historical data. Even the Purdy game where they had to come back against Lions, didn't even sniff 30 passing attempts. So all good stuff. And then probably the last one, guys, I want to get into is the second half scoring. Okay, the second half scoring, I really favor a very low scoring second half. We saw it with Baltimore. We saw it with the Bills when the Chiefs played them. That's kind of where my head's at. Either team likes to run the football. I really favor a heavy run game script. So when we talk about the Super Bowl, that's where I'm at with that. Truly going to take the under in the second half for that. And then obviously, guys, we're going to get into the one that everybody wants to know about, right? The Taylor Swift prop that I have penciled in with Sharpie, because I think it's going to be one of those public bets where it has nothing to do with football, but guys, got to lay it. Putting Taylor up on the broadcast for the Swifties, over 5.5 showings. I think the last time I saw it was minus 140. Get that one definitely before noon on Sunday when the West Coast really starts to trickle in on game day, and you get all the public money come in on some of the more proppy props, if you want to get into that as a terminology, okay? I really think she's going to be shown as long as nothing happens with her flight from Japan. I think that over 5.5 at minus 140 is as good as gold, okay? And then one thing I forgot, I do want to talk about Kyle Juszczyk, okay? I think it's over a half rushing yard. Also, his receiving, check out that historically in the playoffs. Something to note with him, they do tend to favor Juszczyk within offensive play calling in these big spots, in these big games. Shanahan loves getting him involved, okay? So that's kind of some of the props, some of the metrics that I'm looking at. I do want to get into the potentiality that we talk about, bringing home, Patrick Mahomes, another Super Bowl. It's something very, very crazy to just fathom at his young age. This is, I think, personally going to be the largest handle within all Super Bowl betting, as well as I truly believe this may be the best Super Bowl that we watch from just a product standpoint, guys. All right, without further ado, we know my futures. I got 4-1 tickets on both teams coming home, so it's not going to be a huge, huge bet. My official play is I'm going to take the easy way out, though. I'm going to take the under in the Chiefs same game teaser. I know it's not a good thing to do, but it gives me kind of insurance where I can maybe create a window and hit everything. Chiefs taking them up to 8. I took them up to 8.5, as well as the under 54 when we talk about that same game teaser. Great bet for me. I love it. That's what I'm going to be on riding with. But, guys, I got to go with the money. We're going with the 49ers, baby. It's where we're at. That's what we're going to be doing. I know it's kind of going against everything with Mahomes, right? Never bet against Tom Brady. Never bet against Patrick Mahomes. But I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be laying the points with the San Francisco 49ers. I've been on them the whole season. And, with future tickets coming home, I'm going to just keep riding. I'm going to go with my gut. I think the 49ers get it done. I had a Brock Purdy MVP ticket, 30-1. He let me down. Hopefully he shows up tomorrow in a big, big way. But that's what I got going on for you guys. Thanks for sticking around. Remember to subscribe down below. Smash that like button as well. And let me know your plays. Let me know who you got riding in the big game. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Thanks.